This is a conversation that often makes people fight each other, so be ready. Is Magical Mystery Tour a better album than Sgt. Pepper? If this was the 70s, it wouldn't even be a question. For decades, Sgt. Pepper was seen as the greatest achievement in the history of music, so the answer would be pretty clear. However, it's 2025 and no album bounced back more than Magical Mystery Tour, to the point where the internet is convinced that it's a better album overall. In my own personal opinion, the answer depends on how you pose the question. Are we talking about legacy, influence, and impact? Or are we purely talking about the quality in the track list? If it's the former, I think not a single human being on earth can argue against the fact that Sgt. Pepper is one of the most influential albums of all time. Technically, Magical Mystery Tour could also claim some credit because it has Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields Forever, but it doesn't really count because they had already been released as singles months before the album. But if we're talking about pure quality, things are a little different. The second half of Magical Mystery Tour, in my opinion, has to be one of the best moments in the band's discography. On the other hand, Sgt. Pepper, as I've said so many times, has a clear balance problem in the track list. On one side you have A Day in the Life, one of the greatest songs of all time, and on the other, Good Morning, Good Morning. But even then, it's still really complicated because part of the reason Magical Mystery Tour's track list is so much better is because they slapped a bunch of singles on it. So I guess the only way you can wrap up the debate, in my opinion, is saying that Sgt. Pepper is by far the most significant and important album out of the two, but there's no denying that Magical Mystery Tour is 36 minutes of pure psychedelic delight, making it ever so slightly more enjoyable than Sgt. Pepper.